unions. What is happening in Germany? It seems like if the Deutsche Bahn is not striking, the airlines are striking. And it's then different levels within the airlines. It's pilots to stewardesses to then ground personnel, security team.
Yeah.
I mean, the striking is getting so out of control that I remember in 2024, right before the South by Southwest conference in Austin, which attracts a major international delegation. 30% of all the attendees from South by Southwest are international. People flying from throughout Europe, taking that intercontinental flight from Frankfurt. They couldn't get flights because of the striking, and everybody was trying to then change their tickets around. What role is the unions playing in German employment? I mean, I know that they're trying to fight for workers' wages and things like that, but it seems like every year and multiple times in a year, union laborers are increasing wages. Well, are people's wages in other industries increasing as well? Who's fighting for them?
You can definitely say that we are over-unionized here.
Over-unionized?
Absolutely. And what is the thought behind that? Well, in the German system, we still have a lot of socialism. And the general opinion is that especially the employers, they have a lot of power. They have the money, they have the capital. And on the other side, there is the workforce. And we need to counterbalance this relationship, and that's why we need some kind of organizations, unions to bring the workforce on the same level as the employers, and to face them, to be able to fight them. They are really protected by law in Germany. They have a lot of rights. They have a lot of privileges, and they can fight back here. And things like that happen. Yeah.
But it seems like through all of this striking, it's an inconvenience to general citizens. They're missing their trains, they're missing their planes.
I booked a trip for my 40th birthday to fly somewhere, and booked hotels, had the entire week planned out. And the morning that I went to go fly, Ryanair went on strike at the Berlin airport, and basically nothing. Everything had to be canceled, and nothing was refundable. And so it ended up costing me a couple $1,000s just to miss that flight, and there was no way to actually get to where I was going in any other way than taking a flight from that airport, because everybody was shut down across the board. So it's
as we're talking right
now, it cost
a
lot of money for the consumer.
As we're talking right now, Volkswagen workers are striking.
And that is maybe the system.
But that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. That is maybe the system. So the unions can take the regular citizens as hostages. Yeah, and of course they do not really care if we have a bad time missing our train and our planes, but the employers, the business owners, if we complain, won't be happy with that, and they are taking us as regular citizens as leverage to get their interests being followed.
I think when there's this comparison that I have with the United States is that people, Europeans in general, or even outside of Europe, but non-Americans, will often complain or kind of criticize America being a capitalist country. And what I'll respond back is I've never felt more capitalized on than living and working and surviving in Germany.
Yeah,
down to almost every single detail, I feel attacked and capitalized on. I can be in the United States and order a meal, and there'll be ketchup and napkins and a plastic fork in there. Outside of the environmental effects. In Germany, you're gonna get charged for 50 milliliters of ketchup, which is like a ketchup packet.
And to use the bathroom.
And to use their bathroom, you're gonna get charged like €2 to €2.50. So like nearly $2 American for a packet of ketchup. And that's pervasive across the board. And so in the United States, I'm not dealing with this. And maybe there's these things that exist there, but as an employee in the United States, as an average American in the United States, you're not dealing with these business capitalism topics. There's this buffer between you, and so you can kind of live this is what I would describe, whereas Americans don't really understand what freedom is in one capacity, is that you really get to be free of all this stuff and just be a normal employee and spend your money. And here, you really have to fight for every single thing. You know, there's these people will make fun of Germans for being like, oh, you owe me 10 cents. And you live here a while and you understand why.
Yeah.
It's not about the 10 cent that you need. It's that you have to maintain a front. You have to maintain a consistent pattern of behavior to provide a line of defense from you getting preyed upon by like these real capitalistic ideas. And so for me, I'm like, that's not capitalism. Like here, I feel capitalized on in Germany for
Yeah.
sure, 100%.
And
With everything
there
across
is
the board.
no free refill here all over Germany. Terrible. You won't find that, yeah. And just recently we have received a letter from the court, and the letter of the court said we have to still pay court fees in an amount of 43 cents. Can you imagine that? 43 cents. Sending us the letter, paper letter, cost them more.
Costs twice.
75.
I don't know what the current
I
rate
think
is for
75
for
or
a
something
postmark,
like that.
but a postmark I think is like 80,
Yeah,
85 cents. now in
something
Germany.
like that.
There's
So
the handling costs for the company and stuff like
Indeed.
that. So the full cost.
And they want us to still transfer money transfer of 43 cents. So it's unbelievable, but that's German nature. Yeah, that's German nature.
It's very. This is a money machine, and for my personal experience in Germany is that I wouldn't say they good at spending money, but it's a machine about making money, and everybody and they'll describe it as a worker bee, and you really get the feeling here as just being a worker bee, and there is one little job function as your little worker bee that you do. You don't step outside of that, and people are okay with that here. I'm not that personality type.
I have to thank I have to thank my experiences in Germany for pushing me in the direction of becoming a business owner. I found over years that my personal character was such that I was always trying to outperform, overachieve, not to get any type of special employment letter or any type of award like Employee of the Month or anything, but just the personal drive, the personal passion. This was kind of instilled in me as I was growing up, also in sports and from influences of my parents. My mother put a lot of emphasis on education. She was an educator. My father was in the Marines, served two tours in Vietnam, so there was a sense of discipline and structure also in my life. And I found things that I was passionate about, and in an employment environment, I always took the attitude that I wanted to do my best as a return of service to the owner of the company, the employer, which then required me to leave my comfort zone in order to be my best. So to be my best, I had to take risk. I had to try new things. I had to grow. But I often found in Germany that it was more preferred that you just work compartmentalized as that worker bee doing that one function. And so I found a lot of times a misalignment in my ambition and my passion and being more ambitious than what the company maybe had in mind for that position. And when you have individuals that are more ambitious, then you have to have a company that can have the resources to support them and also run with them, right?
Yeah.
And so I see now being a business owner and running my own company that I like the pace that I can run at, that I feel comfortable about, without having to check where was that comfort zone. It's kind of like those bungee cords you see on children at Disneyland. The parents have a bungee cord around the wrist, and the child wants to get away of the comfort zone, and they run off, and then they get pulled back to their comfort zone. I finally was able to cut that bungee cord in terms of being a business owner.